Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cruise Amigos. I'm live from Virginia. Amigo John is live from someplace up there, and I don't know if he's in Minnesota or North Dakota or Montana. He's in one of those places up there. There goes an airplane. Just flew over in front of the car. Needless to say, Amigo John, he's been run out of town. They found out that he was a pot grower, and they ran him out of town, and he's on the lam. Is that true?
Absolutely true. Absolutely, yes. We packed a quick bag and threw a couple of cases of beer in the car, and we're getting the hell out of Dodge, man.
I love it. So that we're bringing it to you live, folks. Amigo John by the way, before we get into too much silliness, we do pass on our thoughts to Amigo Martin, his aunt or aunt, however you pronounce it, passed away, and he's at her funeral right now. So we do seriously send our thoughts to Amigo Martin. So, and John is not really on the lam. John is really going over to Grand Forks to rob a train. I don't know what you're doing over there, but that's neither here nor there.
No. You've heard me for years talk about my business partner in hemp growing compadre Casey, and his son, right there,
yes,
is going for his driver's test. And we have been practicing, and we've been practicing parking and backing up and doing all the different things that they require. And now today is the day. But of course, on purpose, I disagree with the system. They purposefully find every way that they can to fail you on the first test. They somehow think they're going to make better drivers by they'll find something wrong to complain. So we're not, if he passes today, great celebration. But if he doesn't, we're not really worried about it because it's what they do. So I don't know if it's to, convince the world that they need to have a job or they need more of them or what it is. But, I could tell you some horror stories about some of my kids that went and took their driver's tests. And, so anyway, we're hoping for a good day today. We're hoping for the luck of the draw that he gets a real friendly instructor and that with any luck, we'll be driving home with him with a driver's license in his pocket because it sure would help around the farm to be able to send him on errands and to do things and stuff without having to have a driver with him. And it's time. He's of age and been driving a lot around. Matter of fact, he might not remember this, but we'll see if he nods his head here. The very first driving he did is he drove my golf cart into my pickup truck.
Then into the propane tank.
And then into the propane tank, yes.
Nice.
Then into the side of the house. And how old are you? How old are you, maybe?
Probably not even yet.
Oh, no. 5 or 6, 7 years old, maybe. We started him young on the farm. When I was 7, I was in a 80,000-pound truck going right parallel with the combine while the combine was emptying the tank of grain from the combine to the truck, because to stop every time to do that took a lot out of your day. So we called it unloading on the go. And the first year when you were in the field, maybe at 7, you didn't unload on the go. But by the time you were 8, you were unloading on the go.
So as a kid, you illegally got behind the wheel of anything around the farm and drove it.
Totally legal, yes, yeah.
I was born and raised a city boy, so what I had to do was when my parents left the house to go someplace, I would just steal my father's car and drive it around the block. That's how I learned how to drive.
That's been done. I know kids that used to back out of the driveway and drive into the drive out, drive in, drive out, drive in.
I did that, except for I put my dad's car in neutral in the driveway, and it started rolling out.
Oh, true confessions. We're going for the driver's test. Now we're hearing the true confessions. I love it. But anyway, I'm going to turn.
What? I lost your audio. Can't hear you. Just wait a minute. Okay, he might be answering the phone. So I'll say hello to everybody. Mike Kowser's with us. Hi there, Tom Kenneth's here. Michael Gale's here. Hi, y'all. Nikki's here. Bonnie's here. Hello to all you guys. John, as you can tell, is in the car. If you missed the first couple minutes of this, he's on his way to Grand Forks on a mission of mercy, I guess you'd call it. So anyway, and Amigo Martin is not with us today. Looks like John's going to come back. I have two, Lizzie Lou's here. Hi, Lizzie.
Now we should.
Okay, I was just saying.
We should be back with you now. That was the hospital. They have to call me every time they go and visit my friend Bob, and it's like just calling to tell you I'm going to visit Bob. Yeah, thank you. And I want to tell you his next appointment is coming. Yeah, thank you. And I want to tell you that. Thank you. So anyway, it's all. Sorry about that.
All right, now I have two questions for you because I know we're going to lose you early today.
Yes, sir.
So my first question, it has to do with you being European and all, or at least partially European. I mean, you have European stamp behind your left ear. No, it's behind your right. One of those ears is European. I'm looking for the southern part of your European charm. That would be below the belt to the rear. To deal with Italy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. They got this cruise line, this Costa Cruises.
Yes, it's part of Carnival. Belongs to Carnival.
Carnival owns. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They got 11 boats. Okay, and the whole Costa line. So a couple of days ago, we found out that the Costa Luminosa is coming over and joining the Carnival fleet, and it's going to be redubbed. I guess they get the Pope maybe to sprinkle some stuff on the keel, whatever they do to his ship. It's going to be redubbed the Carnival Luminosa. Okay.
Wow.
Today I found out that Vincenzia and Firenze are both coming over to join the Carnival fleet. One's going to New York. The other's going to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Now that's going to get Costa down to 8, from 11 to 8.
Right.
What's going on? I mean, are they going to do away with Costa? Why are they taking 3 new, reasonably new? Of course, the Firenze's brand new, or close to it. I don't know. They're big LNG powered, nice new ship. Why are they moving them to Carnival over here and leaving Costa with a third of the fleet gone?
Well, I think that there's 3 reasons.
Okay.
There's 3 reasons for it. Okay, the first reason is, of course, is sadly, the Costa line is still carrying that image of the ship floating in the water. And, people are really funny. It's no different than when an aircraft has an accident. All of a sudden, there are people that will avoid the brand. I won't fly on Boeing. I'll only fly on Airbus. I won't fly on Airbus, whatever it should be. But there's a certain mental badness that the Costa line is carrying forward, which I'm sure is just resulting in lower occupancy rates. Tie that to the fact that, have you been watching what's happening out at Yellowstone?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, Americans have got this itch to make up for what happened for the couple of years of COVID. And I'm sure that by doing tests and all of the guys with their magic numbers and everything, they said, hey, we can load a ship out of New York once a week or every 10 days, whatever the run might be. I'm guessing out of New York, they're either going to go north up to the St. Lawrence, or they're going to go south and hit Bermuda, and then maybe some of the Bahamas, Miami, and then come back. And that's usually a 10-day run, if they go south out of New York. But they just know from their loads on the other ships that, hey, we believe that at X price point, we can fill another ship that's sitting 70% over in the Mediterranean. And so to me, it's 3 things. It's the bad image still coming along with Costa that really has no reason to be bad, because that was a bad actor. That had nothing to do with the ship or the line, in my opinion. the fact that Americans are we just know, and just like folks, if you haven't watch the news about trying to get into Yellowstone. The ability to go to Yellowstone and have the experience that I've had several times in my life is over. For the next years, there's no chance. They're already doing every other license plate number, so the odds go odd days, even go even days. That's really sucks, man. If you're driving there, you have one day to drive through and you've got a mismatched tag and you're screwed. You can't go in. But even if you can go in, you're talking walking distance with 2 rows of cars. You're gonna get to see Old Faithful. Maybe you're gonna get to see the steamboat geyser. Maybe you're gonna see the mud pots, and that's it. Where in a day, it used to be, except in the highest of holy transportation holidays, I could take a group of people into Yellowstone, and in a day, I could show them the mud pots, the Yellowstone Lake, beautiful camping sites, and then we'd be there for Old Faithful. We'd have a meal looking out over the Old Faithful property. And you really could do Yellowstone on a highlight point of view in a day. And now, it's going to be like Disneyland. And I don't know if we've talked about Disneyland, but in my humble opinion, and also watching and talking to travel agents that just book Disney all the time, Disney is not the experience it was when I was younger and was going there every Wednesday because my friend Chuck was in one of the musical groups. I mean, you're just standing in line. You're standing in the hot sun. You're standing in line. Then they've got this thing called Fast Pass, so the people that pay extra money get to pass you by. So where you should be moving at, whatever the speed is forward, you're moving at half of that because a bunch of the people did a Fast Pass. They sneak up to the front of the line and go in front of you. And how does that? To me, that's just bad publicity. I mean, either I get a park ticket or I don't get a ticket. But this idea of that's like from Animal House. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And I just disagree with that philosophy. So I would tell you, the long answer for your short question is, Americans are back traveling. And it is everybody that I talk to. I have not heard people say, well, I had a bad cruise, because of COVID. I mean, you can have a less than good cruise for other reasons, but it seems that the COVID thing is behind us enough for the majority of the people that it's like, I got money in my pocket. I want to spend it while it's still worth something. And I'm going on a trip.
Yeah. And the sad part is people are still, we had, 2 of our regulars, Gretchen and her husband, came back from Europe and tested positive just yesterday.
My good and favored and longtime friend minister that I've done, a lot of friend of the church work with for 20 years, just came back from Israel. He was in a group of 14, and in Israel, you have to test in and you have to test out.
Yeah.
6 people couldn't leave the country. 6 out of 14. Yeah. Crazy, huh? So imagine, imagine then, the airlines, when this percentage of people are calling at the last minute going, hey, I failed my test. I can't leave. I'm sorry. You got to rebook me 8 days down the road, 10 days down the road, when the 10-day down the road flight is already full. So it's an unusual and a weird time to travel. I can tell you, I'm happy I still have the motorhome in the shed because, yes, it takes a lot of gas, but at least I am totally in control of my destiny from one minute to another.
I am not upset at all that when I leave here, either tomorrow afternoon or real early Saturday morning, I'm driving.
Yep.
So it doesn't bother me in the least on this one.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm relatively surprised that you were able to answer that question in less than 20 minutes. But still. Okay, now, a rumor has it that you were forced into answering an online question about what's the best cruise line, best place to get a solo cruise.
Coming up, we're kind of associated with cruises for solos because that's something that Pete started back when we were all working together, and I think he's got 20,000 members or something. He's doing great. But almost at least once a week, there's a new member that comes on and says, what's the best cruise line for solos? And, to me, that's like saying, well, what car should I go and buy? And it's, God, I got 1,000 more questions before I could tell you that you should buy a Ford pickup truck or you should buy a Chevy Corvette, and I think you'll agree that cruise ships are as different as Ford pickup trucks and Corvettes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn the camera on for a second just to show you here.
Yes.
Can we get off that? No, we can't see it. And somebody is still out with a twin axle Newman motor coach, about 5 miles to the gallon of diesel. So that's about $1 a mile. Yeah. So if they're going to go to Yellowstone from here, they're in for $1,200 just to go to Yellowstone from here. And then they might not get in the park because their license number might have the odd on an even day.
Before you go back to the cruise ship question, Hot Air Tom asked, he has his license plate on his car is TPHCSH. What the hell would he do?
Then he's considered to have an odd license plate. That's the odds as opposed to the evens. All personal plates are marked as odd.
All of them.
Unless it ends in a number. If it ends in a number, then it is the number. But otherwise, it's whatever the ending number is. And if it's not a number, then it's considered to be odd. So you have a slight advantage if you have an even ending license plate because all of the private plates are going to be in the odd side. Yes.
Well, now I feel much better knowing that Hot Air Tom is odd.
I think it's a terrible way to do it personally. And now they say that they're going to they're getting the computer systems ready where they're going to have reservations for you to enter the park. And you're going to have, like a window of time, and then the scanner will, do your license plate as you go in. And it's like, nope, sorry, it's not your time. You're out of here. Or here's your time, and you get to enter the park. Theodore Roosevelt made these parks for all of America, not somebody who has more money to calculate which license plate they need for today or to have a vehicle. I'm just totally upset and in disagreement about this. But back to cruising, what was the question?
What's the best line?
Yes. So I wrote a response, and it kind of started out snarky, and it wasn't my intention at all because this person, I believe, was genuinely asking. But it's like, folks, go back and if you join a group, I don't care if it's, Pete's group or Emma's group or whatever, go back and read a little bit because there's a 92.7% chance that your question has been answered in the last week or so. And because when you keep throwing the question up there, you either get snarky answers or you get wrong answers. And one of the things that I said was, people give opinions. We're going to turn, not here. Oh, you want to do a car wash? Oh, I can't because it'll kill the signal. Sorry, but you turn your light here off. Okay. He was going to go into the car wash, but it will kill my signal here. So sorry. So again, brain malfunctioning. Cruise lines. Oh, yes. Chances are let's go here now. People have asked that question. So go back and look. But, the other thing is when you're asking a question like that, there's a higher chance that people are going to give you negative answers than they're going to give you positive answers. It's no different than when you talk about restaurants. Ask somebody, what are your restaurant memories? They will always tell you about the burnt steak or the waiter that dropped the tray. They're not going to tell you about the wonderful good times. But I also told a story, and I think it's a story worth repeating, is that, there's an old biblical story about a guy that was sitting out to the gate of a city. And people would come by and they would say, hey, dear friend, tell us what it's like in your city. And he would always say, well, tell me what it was like in the city that you came from. And, some people would say, oh, it was terrible. You couldn't trust the government. Your neighbors would steal from you. If anything was parked, you would lose it. This is the building we're going to, but we can go by it and come back. It's just a terrible place, and that's why we got rid of there. It's so ugly. And he would say, well, you might want to fill your water jugs at the well and go right on because you're going to find it's exactly the same here. And then other people would say, oh, well, where we came from was wonderful. Our kids played with the other kids. It was a safe area. We left our doors and windows open. You felt trusted. The food was abundant and healthy. And he would say, then come right on in. You're going to find it's exactly the same here when you come and visit our town. And, it's kind of like that with cruise ships. I mean, if you read, I can show you nasty, damning comments about every cruise ship, every line, every route that's out there, because people, they're real quick to bitch. They're all, not that they're all entitled Karens. Sometimes they have legitimate bitches, but they usually come off a little bit more like, I didn't get what I wanted and I'm mad. Rather than, things like I wrote on there, I've had great cruises and I've had good cruises. But I don't have any other, do you have any, would you say a phrase of any other kind of cruise you have? Have you had bad cruises?
I've never been on a bad cruise.
That's what I mean. They've been great. They've been good. So, and then but I explained all that. And fortunately now a whole lot of people are following up and liking what I have to say or saying something nice about it, because, it is exactly how it really is. And so when you're asking whether it's on a cruise site or you're following us and you're on the internet, you're joining other groups, read the group a little bit, get to know it. And, but phrase your question more in, I'm thinking of doing this. What are your thoughts on that? Rather than what's the best cruise line to go on?
Yeah.
So that's my rant for the day about that anyway.
Good. I'm glad you got the rant out of the way.
Why, thank you.
Let's see. Hot Air Tom is mad at me now because I said what I said. He wants a refund on his super chat from my show this morning. Hot Air Tom. Sorry. Ain't gonna happen. Let's see. What Michael says, I went to Alaska the first week of June on Norwegian Sun. Came home and tested positive. Oh, sorry about that, Michael. Tested okay before, so must have been on the ship or the plane home. Well, it can happen anywhere, and you don't necessarily know when it's going to happen. I mean, it could have been you walked past somebody and didn't even realize it. That unfortunately, that's just the world we live in today. And hopefully, Michael, you had a nice, easy case of it, that it wasn't terribly difficult.
That's right.
More people are that way, thankfully, now than that. And there was a lot of debate earlier on one of the groups about a vaccine and boosters and so forth. I still maintain what I've said all along. For me, and I'm not preaching for anybody else, for me, I was vaccinated, completely vaccinated. I've had 2 boosters. If they called me right now and said, there's a 3rd booster out, do you want it? I would be there in 5 minutes. Here's my arm, give it to me.
That's right.
I have been so far, knock on wood, I have been able to travel without getting sick. So I got to think that that's at least had something to do with it. So I will continue going in that manner. That's
wonderful. Me. Good choices, I think.
So
I think that's a great choice.
Let's see.
I know the show is short today, but Martin, of course, has his funeral that he's at, and the best that I could do here would be to do a little backing up and parking practice with the young lad here, Alexander. That's Alexander with a Z, by the way, if everybody is listening. And so if we can sign off here, I would be most appreciative, and you can give some more cruise news and everything like that, and we'll look forward to talking to you. Well, I'll probably catch you tomorrow morning on your show. So.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to do the show tomorrow, and then I'll decide how I'm going, and then I won't be on the air again until Monday. Probably I'll do Monday's show from the hotel before I go over to get on the boat.
Wonderful.
It's what the plan is at this point. All right. Good luck on the driver's tests. Have fun. I'm going to go back and check in the chat room to see what else we've missed over here. And we'll talk at you soon. Amigo John, and good luck on your test. Okay.
We'll let you know tomorrow. A full report tomorrow morning.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye
okay. All right, that of course was Amigo John and Alexander up there in wherever they were. Well, anyway, where they went over for the driver's test, Grand Forks. Let's see where we. I was going through these over there. Your answer to the question about best cruise made my day, John. I agree. I thought that was a good answer as well. Cindy. Oh, Cindy popped in. I didn't see Cindy before. Lizzie says we all like different things. I love Virgin, and so many don't. Yeah, and if some of you watched my show yesterday that I had Sue Shearer was my guest. We talked about casino loyalty programs, but she and Barry just absolutely fell in love with Virgin. So we're all different in that aspect. I mean, for years I was a Carnival guy. I mean, I thought there was nothing in the world but Carnival. Well, now that I've spread out from that, I like other cruise lines better than my last experience on Carnival. It wasn't that the experience was bad. As I've gotten a little older, my tastes and my desires are different than they were as a younger guy. So, that doesn't mean I'm not going to sell on Carnival. I've got 2 Carnival cruises booked yet this year. So, yeah. So, and I have there's several other Carnival ships that I'm looking at right now. So, yeah, I'll be going back to Carnival. It's just that I've been on a roll with Royal Caribbean and MSC because they let me on first when Carnival wouldn't. So, and also they had good deals for solos, which is the other thing I'll look at. Michael said the trip was great. Good. Glad to hear that. Bad and boosted once. Okay. Yeah. Emily, one of my regulars, was asking about is she's been waiting to get her second booster. And she's 47, and you're supposed to be 50 to be eligible for the second booster. But she's also a caregiver for her mother, and I'm pretty sure all she has to do is roll into CVS or one of the places where you can get vaccinated. One of the pharmacies. For me down here in Virginia, I would probably go to Kroger because I use the Kroger pharmacy now. And it's tell them, look, I'm a caregiver for my mother, and I need to have the second booster. And I'm pretty sure they waived the age because of being a caregiver. So I could be totally wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the way my niece got hers before time. So both vaccinated and boosted. Okay, yeah. Autocorrectors there. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. Sonny's here. Hi, Sonny. Good to see all you guys again, of course. All right. Amigo John is on a mission up there in Grand Forks. And Amigo Martin, of course, again, our thoughts go with him at the funeral for his aunt, whichever way you pronounce it. Okay, so my schedule. I'm going to leave here. I'll do my show tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon, I will get, I don't know. I still haven't decided. I'm either going to leave tomorrow afternoon and just grab someplace on the road tomorrow night, or leave real early Saturday morning and get as much of it out of the way tomorrow on Saturday as I can. And then Sunday, I'm going into Jacksonville and having lunch with Nikki and Roger. And then driving on to Miami. I've got Staying at the Comfort Inn and Suites Sunday night in Miami. And then we'll go over and get on Freedom of the Seas on Monday for Cruise Amigos group cruises. So that's coming up. Lizzie Lou says Gary Bembridge fully vaxxed plus 3 boosters. Came back from Alaska yesterday and tested positive. Well, I'm afraid, folks, that's probably going to become now more of a norm. We'll have to see if things change any. We'll have to see how serious the illnesses are, or if this has evolved into, what part of our population has said all along that this is just going to be like a case of the flu or something. I mean, it was obviously a lot more serious than that at first, but it seems like we're moving more in that direction now. Not that I'm a medical professional. I'm not. I'm just, stating what I'm seeing. Most people, even that are getting it, are having reasonably mild cases or very mild. So don't overdo a long trip. It will take a lot of energy out of you and spoil the trip. I vote for departing Friday. Yeah, hot air. That's what I'm thinking. Even if I only knock out 3 or 4 hours, get to Charlotte or somewhere in that vicinity tomorrow, that would knock out a nice chunk of it. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, just to spread it out, because again, I'm in no real rush. No, it's not a schedule that I can't easily do. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. I'll get out of here tomorrow afternoon sometime, and get a little bit of traveling done. I can always park into a bridge. That'd be fun. I've been on a train. I could sleep under a bridge. Yeah, and then go on to get on a boat. I like that. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the Cruise Amigos, since I'm here by myself now. Thank you guys, all of you, for being with me, as always. Always appreciate each and every one of you guys. So, you guys all have a fabulous time. The Cruise Amigos will be back next Thursday. I will be on Freedom of the Seas, wherever Freedom of the Seas is, on Thursday. Don't even remember what day Thursday is next week. I could figure that out probably. Today's the 23rd. That'll be on the 30th, right? Yeah, of course. On the 30th of June. That's the last day of June. So we'll be... is that a C day? No, I think that's... I don't remember. That might be a C day. But anyway, because we go into Miami on the 1st, and then out again on the second part of the cruise from the 1st to the 4th. We get back on the 4th. So, anyway. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Oh, Hot Air Tom says, should be in the terminal tomorrow for the show. Check in at 10 a.m. Check in at 11 a.m. Hot Air. Show's at 11 a.m. because you're in Eastern Standard Time. Same time we have here in Virginia. So, yeah, you're still in Boston tomorrow, of course. Yeah. So, you'll be, you're checking into the terminal at 10. Did I read that wrong? If you get to the terminal at 10, you'll be at the terminal to check on the show at 11, of course. I follow that now. All right. Listening to Chillie from the Sweet Lounge. Nice. Travels with Lizzie. No, 4 p.m. Yeah. That's 4 p.m. your time, Lizzie, is tomorrow. I can't keep all these times zones straight. All right. I'll see everybody next time for the Cruise Amigos. I'll see all you guys at 11 Eastern Daylight Time. That's my time. Tomorrow for my show. You guys all have a fabulous day. For Amigo John and Amigo Martin and me, see you next time.